Hi, and welcome back to Practical Psychology Podcast. I'm Tara Steinberg. I'll be hosting today, and we have a lovely guest today. Vanessa is a mental health counselor intern beginning her practicum this September. With a foundation in education and a deep commitment to mental wellness, she brings a unique blend of empathy and insight into her work as a counselor. Her years as a teacher have honed her ability to connect with individuals from diverse backgrounds, foster trust, and create safe spaces for growth. She has been a teacher for 25 years. Additionally, she has also worked with clients one-on-one and has taught alternative healing workshops. She believes in being compassionate and offering a client-centered approach. Hi, Vanessa. Welcome to the podcast.
Yeah.
Uh, okay, can you speak up a bit, Vanessa?
Oh, yeah. Can you hear me now?
Yes, I can.
Okay.
Okay, that's great. So, Vanessa, let's jump right in. What was it that led you to counseling?
Yeah. Definitely it was a long road to counseling for me. Um, I started off as always wanting to be a teacher. My mom is a retired teacher. I would go to school with her on my PD days, and I just loved the idea of being able to work with students to help them. So that kind of became my goal. I grew up and I got my teaching degree. And years after teaching, after having children of my own, I began to look a little further into wanting to better myself personally. So I took an interest in alternative healing. I started with Reiki energy healing that led me to color and sound therapy, and eventually to meditation and mindfulness. And I began hosting workshops, working with children up to seniors. And, I really enjoyed the work I was doing. I started to notice in clients, how much improvements they were making, just, working on themselves and having that self awareness. And so I started noticing even as a teacher, I'd have some more students coming to me and, asking me questions about things they were wondering about and bothered about. And so it kind of all came together. And what led me to counseling was I kind of felt like there were missing pieces of the puzzle. And after going to school and taking my courses and doing all the work I've done in the past little bit, I've noticed that those pieces of the puzzle are all kind of coming together. And now I feel like I have more tools to offer my students and to offer my clients.
Amazing. You mentioned color and sound therapy. That's
Hmm.
something I haven't heard of. Can you tell us a little bit more about what that is and whether or not you incorporate it into your therapy sessions?
Yeah, so I've been a music teacher for a number of years. So anything music, sound has always kind of fascinated me. And so when um, you're working with a client, and they might have experienced a lot of different stress, it kind of throws them off balance. So bringing in that color and sound frequency really helps to bring that person back into their balance. And so, looking at that large percentage of our body that's made out of water, and looking at those sound vibrations, working with, I guess, if you think of a stream of water and there's chaos, it's moving really fast, and then it begins to kind of settle. That would be the imagery I would give you of, working with sound therapy and then incorporating color just to bring that um, perfect harmony back with the client.
Wow. Wow, that's fascinating. Sounds a little bit like um mindfulness
Yes,
methodology and
yes.
maybe even breathing exercises,
Hmm.
all different strategies to bring a client back into balance.
Definitely, it all works together. I find the more I study, the more I learn. Everything is just about bringing us back into balance.
Yeah, that is really very important in life. Um, how do you see yourself combining your work as a teacher, your current work with clients now,
Mm.
with counseling?
Like, there's a lot of skills that I have picked up over the years with teaching, definitely building that rapport with students, staff, parent, community, open communication skills. Working with students requires patience, empathy, but also it takes time to build that trusting, safe environment where a student feels comfortable and ready to learn. So I definitely think those are skills that I've developed over the years that transfer into counseling. I think having a client feel comfortable and safe in your space is very important. Having that empathy for them, where they feel loved and supported, and they're more, I think when a client feels safe and comfortable, they're more open to sharing and, expressing themselves emotionally in that environment. So definitely those skills do transfer over.
Yeah, absolutely. I mean, you can't get anywhere really without having a good connection and base of trust with clients.
Yeah.
And is there a particular population you like to work with?
Um, I'm not sure. I'm very open to working with various populations at this time. I've worked with children ages 5 to 12 for the past 25 years in the school. But I've also worked with clients of all ages in um, my work that I've done one-on-one. So I'm very open just to kind of see what the future brings and what opportunities and possibilities there are. So not yet. I'm very, very open to seeing what
Very
the
open.
future brings. Yeah.
Yes, I mean, it's good to be open, especially you're at the beginning of a new career, and it sounds like you have a lot of different skills to bring to the table, so matching it
Yeah.
up is going to be interesting.
Yeah.
I'm a little bit more interested. I actually worked a little bit with kids not quite as young as 5. It can sometimes be a difficult group, especially for talk therapy. So I'm wondering if how these alternative methods that you use, how the younger children respond to that.
They're very open. I find children are they're open, and I find they're very welcoming of, um, for example, if I bring in a mindfulness exercise for students, a lot of them seem very almost excited to, yes, we get a few minutes of quiet time and we can just relax. And I keep it very open for them to whether they want to color or they want to fidget with something, or if they just want to have a few minutes of quiet time. Really, mindfulness is about being present, and that looks very different for everybody. So I think just allowing, you know, your client just to kind of experience it in their own ways is definitely key here.
Um, for any parents listening, why do you think why do you think mindfulness is good for kids?
Just helps them bring them back to the now. If they're worried about something, even as adults, we worry about things that haven't happened, maybe won't happen, perhaps will never happen. But, it's that loop that goes through over and over again. And just to bring them back to that present moment, it's that muscle you build, right? No different than going to the gym and doing your exercises. You build that muscle, and I think if they start as children to build those mindfulness skills and, being very present, I think that's very beneficial for them to navigate life challenges, especially being a teenager, being a young adult, and, whatever life throws at them, they have those tools in their toolbox to help them to cope. So it's very important skill to develop.
Absolutely. There seems to be a bit of a gap in the mental health space for preventative
Mhm.
mental health, and sounds like, especially with kids, that's maybe starting to be addressed a little more. What do you think?
Yes, it's definitely becoming something that I'm hearing more. Definitely something that, let's say 5 years ago, I was hearing about it, but now even more. That could be, because we had COVID pass through and we're seeing different types of things, but it's definitely more talked about, more encouraged now. And I think we're seeing that, being a little more proactive, um, it can help, in the future when they are experiencing, um, different difficulties and giving them the tools.
Yes, absolutely. And I
Mhm.
wonder, do you find it um, easier to introduce mindfulness to kids or to adults?
Definitely to children.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I thought you might say that. Yes.
Mhm.
Yes. What are
Yeah.
the common obstacles you find coming from adults that you've worked with?
So oftentimes as adults, I find the biggest theme is just having too many thoughts going through and just having a hard time slowing down. I think we live in such a fast-paced world and, um, we're always supposed to be multitasking, right? So, if I'm doing a mindfulness activity, they might be thinking of something they have to do later, in an hour, the next day, or they're wondering about their kids. And I mean, I understand. I've been there. I've experienced that. But again, it's that muscle, And so, even though it does require maybe more repetition, and maybe, more often that I would work with an adult for that. I do think eventually they do see the benefits and you start to see a slight shift. I've had adults say, like, wow, I stopped the other day, or I just parked on the side of the road and I took a few deep breaths and I looked at the trees and I was able to reset myself, as an example. So yeah, you do see the shift over time with adults for sure.
Absolutely. And I love the metaphor of going to the gym. I've used it myself because
Hmm.
I do find that a lot of adults also feel that you almost feel guilty for not multitasking, and mindfulness is actually the opposite
Yes.
of multitasking.
Yes, we're undoing. Yeah.
Yes.
So, but it is beneficial. And I mean, I understand the multitask. I have to multitask some days, but it's that it's just kind of, anchoring you back in and just it's like pressing that reset button. And then you're actually able to do more.
Yes.
You really are, just by bringing yourself back to that present moment and awareness. It sounds opposite, but you're actually able to accomplish more if you're in that place of being present.
Yes, absolutely. That's something I
Yeah.
tell my clients as well. I love throwing in how actually, although it sounds counterintuitive, that it
Yes,
actually increases productivity
it
and
does.
increases insight. So sometimes we have to
Yeah,
undo the work of society.
it's true. It's true. And there's, many, many benefits as you're aware as well. Just being fully present.
Are there any specific modalities that you're drawn to in your work with clients other than mindfulness based work?
Well, definitely, when I look at CBT, it's definitely something that incorporates mindfulness. And then there are third wave modalities that have come through that also incorporate mindfulness. So I think, and it incorporates mindfulness in different ways.
Yes.
So I definitely feel that I'm very open to exploring those modalities with clients and tailoring it to the client. So maybe a visualization would be, or a progressive muscle relaxation might be more beneficial than doing deep breathing with, a client, depending on their life experiences.
Mm-hmm.
One size does not fit all. So I'm definitely open to, taking that umbrella of mindfulness and then working with clients, but tailoring it to what they need.
Right. So I'm guessing you're referring to therapies like ACT therapy, acceptance
Yes.
and commitment, and
Yeah.
maybe dialectical behavioral therapy.
Yes.
Yeah,
Yes. Yeah, definitely. So I do look forward to working with clients in that capacity and exploring what's best for them and what's the most helpful for them.
very good, very good. We are actually running out of time, but where are you based, and what do you think, if clients are considering coming to you, what do you think you want them to know?
I'm based in Edmonton, Alberta, and I think I'd want clients to know that even though you feel stuck, it is something that can be temporary, and working with someone who is a good fit can definitely help you to work through those patterns of being stuck and find more, proactive ways to become unstuck.
Wonderful, wonderful. Um, so lastly, how do people reach you if they'd like to book you?
So I have my email, being Warren's therapy at outlook.com. I have a YouTube channel where I've posted a couple I was going to say mindfulness tips, positive psychology hacks. And so they can search me there. They can email me, and I really looking forward to my work with clients this fall.
We're gonna put all those links below the
Okay.
video so people can reach you. Um, last question. Can you give us one positive psychology hack now?
And so I actually just put one up the other day that is so powerful, and it's just one little word. So that power of yet. So oftentimes, and I've seen this with myself, people I'm surrounded by, but I can't do this, or I'm not good at this, or I can't get it. And just adding that word yet is so incredibly powerful, because just because something is not happening presently, it doesn't mean that it will never happen. So, you know, I can't get through this. I can't get through this yet. I can't move forward yet. Just that small word makes such a powerful difference in your mind shift. And if your mind shifts, you can really do anything.
Yeah, changing language can be a very powerful
It
tool.
does. Yes.
All right, on that note, we're going to say goodbye to
Okay.
you for this week, and we will be back next week with another practical psychology podcast. Thanks so much, Vanessa, for joining us today.
Thank you, Tara. Thank you for your time today.